Hey everybody, it's Lon Seibin. We've got another unboxing. Today it is the Chuwi Lapbook SE. This is a $300 quad-core Gemini Lake-based device. It's got an N4100 processor inside, 4 gigs of RAM, and apparently a only 32 gigabyte eMMC drive, but they also have a 128 gigabyte SSD installed, and we'll be having a full review of this shortly on my main channel at lon.tv. And this came in free of charge through banggood.com, and there's a link to this device down below in the video description. Now it's funny, in the pictures it looks a lot thinner than it actually is, and one of the funny things with these off-brand Chinese laptops is that they often look better in pictures than they do in person. So you can see it's a little bit thicker than the photos indicated, but not all that much. It's got a pretty decent keyboard on here, and we'll boot it up. I think the battery probably needs some charging before it comes on, so we'll have a full review of this shortly on my main channel at lon.tv. It has a 13.3-inch IPS 1080p display. A decent keyboard here. It does not appear to be backlit though, so be aware of that. Nice big trackpad here. It feels pretty decent. Again, we'll do a full test of this shortly. Not much for ports. You got a full-size USB 3 port here, headphone microphone jack, mini HDMI out. And then on the other side, we've got another USB 3 port, headphone jack, and a SD card slot, a micro SD card slot. No USB-C on this one. I believe this is fanless. I'm not seeing any fans here, although it might have some. So we'll take a look and see, but I think this is a fanless device. Most of these Gemini Lake devices are. And what's interesting is that they have the M2 SATA here under this particular slot, so you could swap in a larger drive if you want. I'm not sure if it supports NVMe drives though, and given that it's labeled here M2 SATA, I am reluctant to say that it does, but I'll try to find out more about that. Also in the box, we have some instructions, a lot of it in Chinese. And one thing to keep in mind with these devices is that you often get what you pay for. So this is a $300 laptop. You get a lot of computer for the money, but sometimes if things go wrong, you're kind of on your own. So just be advised of that. Power supply is here, and this has got a European connection, but I can easily get one of my other cables out of the collection in the back for that. So let's take a look at the undercarriage here and see what is inside. All right, so underneath that SATA slot, there is indeed a SATA drive inside. This is a 128 gig drive, which supplements the 32 gigabyte eMMC that's built into the motherboard. So it looks like for 300 bucks, you do get that SSD installed, which is good because 32 gigs is never enough for a Windows PC these days. And it looks like to get the pricing on the Windows license, they went with a supplementary drive to be able to stay compliant. And I think what I'm going to try to do now is take apart the rest of the computer, so stay tuned. Let's see what's underneath. So this is about the best I can do for getting the computer apart, but we are able to at least see inside and discern what is upgradable. So that storage is definitely upgradable, that M2 drive, which is available through the slot there. But the RAM is not, so you're locked in at the 4 gigs that it comes with. So just be advised of that. It's underneath that plate there, and there's definitely no RAM socket there. Rather large battery here, though, so I think it might get decent battery life. We'll put that to the test in a few minutes, and hopefully everything will go back together the way I found it here. So if you're curious if it's upgradable, just the storage. And what I'm going to do now is get this thing back together, and we'll do a full review of the Lapbook SE coming up in a couple of days on the main channel at lon.tv, so stay tuned.
This channel is brought to you by the lon.tv supporters, including gold level supporters Chris Allegretta, the 4 Guys with Quarters podcast, Tom Albrecht, Gerard Newberg, and Kalyan Kumar. If you want to help the channel, you can by contributing as little as $1 a month. Head over to lon.tv/support to learn more. And don't forget to subscribe. Visit lon.tv/s.